for comments, questions, queries.
Yeah, thank you very much and for allowing me and inviting me to speak on prediction of clinical endpoints in
I envisage the beginning of a new form of a
clinic
prognostic
that is
predicting the future of a
typically they combine biochemical dysfunction, portal hypertension.
Again, very nice talk, Manas. My question to you is, in the first session we discussed, and Professor Sanyari did say about the coefficient of variation or variance. The elastography can have variation as high as he said 30%, which means your values may not be correct. And now you're predicting, or you are basically predicting CSPH or versus needing treatment or whatever, the 25 kPa and all that stuff. So with this 30% variation which can happen in this, so I'm not sure whether this variation will be true at all stages, but the question is, practically though may not be possible, but then MRE has a less variance, maybe 5%. Less than that? More than that. So in comparison to MRE, FibroScan will have more variance for sure, right? So MRE would have less variance for sure. But we can't use that in clinical practice. But the question is, I'm saying that how accurate are these cutoffs while predicting CSPH and the versus the
So, very nice question, sir. So, we'll see this LSM. LSM, what it predicts? It predicts liver fibrosis. So, in continuum of, if you see this portal pressure measurement, up to 10, so HBPG up to 10, it can predict, LSM can predict better. On later part, it is not the liver fibrosis only, it is the portal flow which increases after splanchnic vasodilatation, angiogenesis and photosystemic collaterals, which increases, so LSM predictability and the accuracy of LSM decreases. So that's why LSM up to HBPG 10, it can predict pretty well what studies says. No doubt there is day variation, operator variation, all those variations are there. But however, MREs are again, that is a costly thing if you see in comparison to this accessibility to FibroScan and all those things. Costly, of course it will variability less than LSM, but these are the things, sir.
Thank you.
So here is what I was
Thank you
thinking.
very much. Very well presentation by both the speakers. Thank you so much.
So we
my question to Dr. Kamath is that
this is the question I think
while traditional models we tend to keep them simple, but in real world do we actually treat patients looking at just 2 or 3 factors? So my question to you is,
low risk will be
in real world we take into account so many factors for treatment of a given patient. So why do we make simpler models just for ease of use? That's okay, but when we treat patients, we take into factor so many things, right? And machine learning is trying to recapitulate that factor. And it is always a tug of war between, when you talk to a computer scientist and a physician, we say that only 2 or 3 factors we need so as to predict a particular thing. That's good for, the population. Like AUC, it's very good for segregating patients from one group to another group. Good for implementing policies, but while we are treating patients, I am talking about a precision medicine approach. So, what are your thoughts on that aspect? Because we are moving towards that arena of precision medicine, taking into so many factors. Let's say you have EHR, we don't have that luxury. We plug in a lot of factors through deep learning models, or perhaps LLMs, which can actually go beyond that through RAG guidelines, retriever augmented generator type of algorithms to give you precise answers, integrating different guidelines as well. So, what are your thoughts on integrating so many data and precision?
So the first thing is, in models, you want it widely applicable. So not just to your data set, but to every country, every patient with that condition. And you want to know that it's going to be useful in the future. And the only way you know it's useful in the future is if you compare it with a previous model from a different era, it is still accurate. So that's the basis for putting models together. The simplicity is related to the number of variables that you put in.
But
yes, machine learning is good, but I would like a model
10%.
where the machine learning is based
if
on
you have a patient with
demographics,
compensated cirrhosis,
age,
three factors
comorbidities. The
will
more
determine
tests
your
that
risk
you
of
want
clinical
plugged in,
decompensation, the HVPG,
that's going to be
MELD
expensive.
score,
And then if the
albumin.
patient does
And
not
for those
have
of
that,
you who do
then you cannot apply the
HVPG,
model.
we do not do it routinely.
So let me give you an
If
example.
it's
So
less than 10
there's a
millimeters, the
paper
risk of being
we have in
decompensation-free
Lancet
at
just
4
from a year
years
ago.
is
It's from the
90%.
European Consortium, where they looked at 9 countries,
prognosis in
30,000 people,
decompensated
and
cirrhosis, remember,
validated.
mortality is going to be
And so
within 2
it's a
years
very good
50%
score. There's just
death.
8. It's called
So
the liver
the
score.
endpoint
You
here
can get it
is
free
death.
online.
So all scores in decompensation
But when you try and apply it to
mortality
the big
risk.
population who are not
So
part of the
generally,
study,
score
you
of
find
12
many
or
people who
more
don't have it.
with
You cannot
CTP
apply it in
or
the
a
US
score of
because we don't have
21 or greater,
GGT in
median
those
survival is
patients.
less than 6
So that is
months.
the problem. So if you have to
MELD
say
score of
every
18,
patient
and
needs
if you have an
LDL,
infection, median
GGT,
survival
all the
again less than 6
apolipoproteins,
months.
ApoA, think of the cost.
But again, I like to
How many times you're going to
look
stick. So
things
that's why I
very
think the
simple. So
simpler
this
the
is an
model
old
it is,
paper
the
from
more widely you can
Barcelona, 1988, I
apply
believe.
it. The
Just
more
look at
variables you
mean
put in,
arterial
the
pressure.
more
So I look
accurate
at
it
mean
is, but the
arterial
accuracy
pressure in
increases
patients
only a
with
little. It's
cirrhosis.
not
I
a
hope all
huge
of you
amount.
check the blood pressure in these patients.
Good afternoon.
So
Professor Kamath, I have a question.
Mean arterial pressure less than
Bacterial
82,
infections
so that
modify the natural history of
easy
cirrhosis.
calculation,
So
105
they can be a
over
precipient
70.
for decomposition and some
Survival was
consider it as
20%
decomposition.
at 24 months
Most
and
of the
0%
scores
at
which
48
are predictive
months.
models, they are based
Mean
on
arterial
liver
pressure
directed
greater than
bilirubin
82,
or
they did
CTP or
much
MELD.
better, 70%
So is there
survival
any
at 2
score
years.
which
So
looks
when I
at
look at low
infection
blood pressure,
or maybe inclusion of
or when I
CRP
look
or
at the blood
something else
pressure,
along with this
I give the
score
patient
that
some
would help
idea
in
about
better
how
prediction of
things are going to be.
decomposition in these patients?
Prognostic
So
scores
it's a good question.
in
So
decompensated
within the
cirrhosis
first question,
are
it is,
CTP, the MELD
is
score and its variations.
infection,
There are
does
organ
infection
failure
make liver
scores, but they're
disease
not
worse?
really
Or
useful. I
is it
think they're
only
reflective
patients with
scores
bad
and they
liver
describe
disease
the
get
dying
infection?
process.
You know, so that
I'll
is
show
the
you what I
question.
mean by that.
And then
There
with the
are other scores
infection,
for organ
do the
transplant
consequences
allocations,
of
which
the
I won't go
infection
into.
make a difference? And I think that clearly yes. So
So
that's how
any
if you have
score
MELD
that you
score and you
have
add
very
on
close to the
lactate,
endpoint is going to be
the
very
accuracy
accurate.
increases. So markers
so
of
immediately
consequences
before
of
the endpoint,
infection make
you
things
call
worse.
it prediction,
MELD
but
plus
you're really not
CRP, MELD
predicting, you're
plus
describing the
calcitonin,
process. So organ failure
procalcitonin,
scores
again
are
increases
describing
the
dying
accuracy of the
process. So
models.
if you have
But
5
again,
organ
I like
failures,
very
you're not going to
simple
say,
things. It
"I
means
predict
just
you're
doing
dying."
more
What you're
tests
actually saying
and
is
the
the patient
accuracy
is dying.
increases only a little.
And so
Manas, I have a
they're
question for
very
you also.
accurate when the disease is likely
LSM value would
irreversible.
vary, as Professor just said. So
Now the
is
future,
the cap
here's where I
value
want to
also
spend a little
important,
more
right?
time.
If it is very high, then what
What
happens to
about
the
AI
fibrosis?
guided
Second.
prediction?
And
So
are there any
tools
predictive
need to be cheap and
models to
universally
predict that
available.
fibrosis would be high
High
if the
patient
cap value is above
acceptance,
300
and
and
if
so
the
or
patient can
something?
test
And
at
second
home,
is that
even
are
better.
there variables on which
Wearable
this Phoenix
devices are
depends? Can
attractive,
it
but
be
they're very
ferociously high?
expensive. So the question we
liver
ask in the
stiffness,
ECG, which is done
lot
so
of
commonly,
fallacy are there,
especially
just
in
like
the mass world
inflammation is
population. Can we
going
use
on.
that as a prognostic tool in
Cholestasis
cirrhosis?
is going on. There is fallacy, that is one thing.
So we know
So that's
cirrhosis
why
has
on
profound
later stage
alterations in the
SSM they are
circulatory
taking.
system,
And
hemodynamic
regarding
circulation
CAF,
is
if you will
critically
see in
related to the
fibrosis,
clinical endpoint.
natural history of fibrosis,
We also
once
know
liver
to see ECG
fibrosis
abnormalities in
progresses,
patients with
the
cirrhosis.
steatosis
So you're
component
familiar with all of
decreases.
them. TPT
So
interval is a
all those
marker of
predictive
repolarization.
model they have taken LSM
The
and
question
SSM
was,
mostly.
can we
They
detect
have not
cirrhosis?
taken
So just diagnose it
Yeah, just
looking
time
at the
for one
ECG.
question.
This
Professor
is-
Neil, please.
So we developed the A score, which
Yeah,
is
just very
ACE,
quickly,
AI, cirrhosis, ECG
I think
score.
I would take some of
So
these
if you can
predictive
see
models
here
coming out
in
from
orange
Baveno with a
is
little
what we developed. So
caution.
the ECG,
Because
just
when you
the
look at
ECG will
population-based
90% of the time
differences,
diagnose cirrhosis.
in order to
In the
translate that
validation
into
cohort,
individual patient
almost
care,
90%
you
of the
have
time.
to,
And
there's
the
a whole
score level was
additional set of
0.17.
things you have
So
to look at,
the machine
including the
can, looking at
variability
the
of the
ECG, will
individual
say
tests,
patient
etc.
has
So
cirrhosis
that's
or
my
not.
just overall arching comment.
Not only
Patrick,
that,
I think given all
as
these
the liver
issues with
disease gets
elastography,
worse,
etc.,
as seen
I think
by
the
the
EKG
increasing
data
MELD
that you show
score,
is incredibly
the ACE
compelling.
score increases.
And I
After
think
about
for
25 it
the
flattens
NASH
out.
population, this could be very, very
then
important because it's so
If you look
easy
at
to do.
patients
The
who've
question
been
to you
followed for
is,
years before transplant,
did you account for
as
use
the
of
liver
beta
disease gets
blockers or
worse,
calcium channel blockers, and how does alcohol fit in, or other comorbidities fit into this?
Arun, the first point I think I agree with you 100% about the Berliner criteria. Be a little cautious about using it and preferably get your own data before you decide. I agree with you completely there.
So if we use the score
ECG population, at some time if you have a large cohort, we may want to validate it in that. So I think that's
decompensation, and you can see
number
that
3, the question of
and this
yes, we looked at beta blockers,
of other
all
things,
comorbidities, it is still predictive. The alcohol use is, only as good as the question.
Ultimately, we hope we get a score
so
like this.
So we wouldn't know 5 years ago how accurate that was.
Thank you very much.
Won't die for 5 years. They don't have any decompensating events or mortality. But as the score goes up, you can see the mortality increases. So let's take a patient who's come with a score of 0.75. We look at the patient and say mortality at 1 year is 50%, and in 5 years the patient won't be alive. So again, for here, liver-related mortality, we look at liver transplant and then we realize, of course, it was a mistake because it's not that much better than the MELD sodium, but then MELD sodium is what we use for allocation of liver. So it seems to predict mortality independently, but the MELD score is better. But we have to validate this, and so we validated this in a cohort from Barcelona. Again, it's useful, good predictive value, but not as good as when we developed it, and that's typical of all models, so we have to really do better than this. Now, so in clinical practice, so when you get a patient, this is what we're ultimately hoping we can do. So when we see a patient, this is the screen that we have. If you go to cardiology, this is all the cardiology tests that were done. So then we'll just click on the AI dashboard, and this is what's going to come up. So we know from patients, this is what our cardiologists have done, predictive of amyloid, low ejection fraction, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and we have a thing here now of cirrhosis. But we're hoping we'll have a big liver section here, and then the questions that we have are the cardiovascular events, whether we can predict that here. So let me show you examples that we can have in here. So here is a patient with autoimmune hepatitis, low score, and then she flared her autoimmune hepatitis and went into liver failure. So you can see just over weeks how the score has rapidly increased. So it predicted the disease severity. But here's another patient, 70 years old, MELD sodium score only 10, so it looks like she's not that sick, but if you look at her problems here, she's actually quite sick. And her score has gone up again. So the A score is picking up disease severity, which we're not picking up at the MELD score alone. And finally here we have a young woman whom we transplanted for biliary cirrhosis. You can see the score is high. 1 year post-liver transplant, the score has come to normal. So to summarize, ECG model can predict the presence of cirrhosis, mainly if it can detect cirrhosis. It may predict liver disease severity, complications, and mortality over time. But I think we still have to work on this model a little more before we can say it's ready to be used. So my take-home messages are cirrhosis progression is no longer one-directional. Improvement in liver function and even regression of fibrosis will occur with treatment of etiology. And current predictive models will become increasingly less accurate in the future. And this is because of reversal of cirrhosis etiology and death from non-hepatic complications. And the hope is that simple and cheap AI-based models in the future will more accurately predict endpoints. Thank you.